Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Brian. It's the Weekend Roundup. The Nintendo Switch Online service launched about a year ago, and to be frank, when it first came out, its main function seemed to be a new revenue stream for Nintendo because there wasn't a lot else there. We got the privilege of paying Nintendo $20 a year to get online access to games that have previously been free. Oh, and some emulated Nintendo games that had been around since Ronald Reagan was president. I get to pay money to play Ice Climber in 2019. Thanks, Nintendo. But okay, it's been almost a year later. Is the service worth it now? Well, over the last year, they have been diligently adding more and more NES games to the point to where they've got more than 50 now, not to mention SP versions of some games, which usually let you start with a bunch of items and power-ups, just so you can totally tear through bad, and that's fun. Everybody likes that. Then, this week, Nintendo finally added what a lot of us had been wanting for years, Super Nintendo games.
Yeah!
It was awesome.
Nintendo.
Not a bad lineup either. The biggies were, of course, Super Mario World, A Link to the Past, Super Metroid, but there were some relatively obscure games in there too. Demon Crest, really good game. Breath of Fire, a really classic JRPG. Honestly, most of that list is totally worth playing even in 2019. For $20 a year, pretty decent value. While some people thought that services like Google Stadia were going to be like a Netflix for games, quote unquote, Nintendo's actually doing that now with some of their classic games. Now we just need some Final Fantasy in there. Earthbound, Killer Instinct, Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG. Yes, I'm never going to be fully satisfied. So that's the good news. The bad news is that their online services still leave a lot to be desired. You know, the main reason we're paying for all this. For instance, it is totally inexcusable that we have to use an app for online voice chat, especially in a service that we're paying for. There are a handful of games like Fortnite, DC Universe Online that do offer native voice chat thanks to an SDK that's embedded in a lot of games, but that list is still way too small. Honestly, and if you ask us to start paying a fee, even if it's just $20 a year, we're gonna start demanding more features. That's just how it works. Still though, that SNES lineup is a great start to making this thing actually worth the money. And if they keep adding more and more on a regular basis, I'm gonna feel better about subscribing to yet another service in my life. On that note though, people have found posts on the Nintendo Japan website that says they will add SNES games irregularly instead of monthly going forward. So we'll have to see how frequently we get new games. But seriously, let's get a better online voice chat, guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem I have with the Nintendo Online.
I mean, some of the online can still be spotty, you know, depending on the game. I hope they're improving that, but the voice chat I feel like is the biggest.
Yeah, but I will also point out, and you mentioned it in there, $20 a year is not that much.
It's not.
$20 for an entire year is pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty cheap.
I feel like with the SNES games, I feel like those games took such a leap from the NES games, because I feel like a lot of the NES games are just sort of a lot of glorified arcade games. Like, they're harder than they need to be. I know why they did it, but like SNES, I feel like they just took a jump forward, like the medium as a whole. So, I don't know.
I'm excited about that.
We're seeing good things. Yeah.
I do hear where people are like, well, if you're putting SNES games, what about GameCube? What about Nintendo 64? And I'm like, listen, they can do all of that.
Yeah, pump the brakes.
Yeah, they're gonna slow roll this.
We will get GameCube games in 2030. Mark your calendar. We will get it. All right, moving on. It looks like Cyberpunk 2077 will, in fact, have multiplayer. CD Projekt Red has been hinting at that fact. Recently, they finally made it official, tweeting, "Until now, the only thing we said about multiplayer was that it was in research and development. As we're getting closer to launching single-player Cyberpunk 2077 in April 2020, we'd like to confirm that multiplayer's in the works." They went on to post a link for job applicants if you want to work on multiplayer. You know what? Go for it. They added that the plan is to deliver the game in April of next year, then follow up with DLCs, free, no, that's good, and single player content, and once we're done, invite you for some multiplayer action. So there you go. Apparently no company can resist the lure of multiplayer. A little bit nervous that they're dividing resources like this. Sure. Does that mean we're going to get another GTA 5? I hope not. Ugh. Yeah, Cyberpunk looks so good, though.
I know, and I was hoping it would just stay single player, to be honest with you.
Me too.
But, I mean, if it's an increased revenue stream. They're gonna chase.
They're like, we got to pay for this.
Yeah, exactly.
we got to pay.
We got to pay for Keanu Reeves.
They're gonna sell a lot of copies. It's gonna be fine. Yeah, maybe Keanu. Once they added that, like, we got to do multiplayer.
Welcome to the multiplayer Keanu experience.
Yep, exactly. Nintendo announced this week that Overwatch is coming to the Switch, but what if you've already got hundreds of hours on another console? Could crossplay be coming? Well, it's not going to be available at launch, but Blizzard seems to be leaving the possibility open. They told Engadget, "We've seen how compelling cross-system play can be for our community, and we're excited about the potential. There's still a lot of work to do on both our side and the platform side to determine whether this is something that makes sense for Overwatch, and we're keeping an eye on how cross-play systems and technology develop." So, does that mean we'll do it if Sony says okay? That's a little bit. Like, the technology's there, guys. For now, Overwatch is set to arrive on the Switch October 15th. I can't wait to suck at Overwatch on another platform. It's going to be amazing. Is a new Splinter Cell coming? Well, GameStop might have spilled the beans. We got a clue in a set of replica Splinter Cell goggles that they are selling. In the description of those goggles, it said, "For the first time since the introduction of Splinter Cell in 2002, after 9 top-selling AAA Plus titles, and with the 10th release on the horizon, this is your first chance to own Sam Fisher's signature ultra-high-frequency sonar goggles. With the 10th release on the horizon." Sounds like a pretty big clue. They've changed it now, but the internet never forgets this stuff. Splinter Cell Blacklist came out 7 years ago, so it does seem like the franchise would be due for another. All right, this next story is hilarious. Now, we all know that yearly games like Madden or FIFA, they don't make a whole new game every year. They iterate on what came before, and then some years they do bigger overhauls than others. But Madden 20 might have taken iteration to a new high. Or, more accurately, a new low. A Reddit user, Balloon Slayer 47, found a banner inside Madden 20, and it was for Madden 19. So they're not even changing the banners now. Did they even update the rosters, or is Antonio Brown still with the Steelers? Come on, guys. Who do you think you are, college textbook publishers? No, we really need to put out a 10th edition. We had a new font on page 270 that we needed to try. That'll be an extra $200.
It's so real. It's so real.
It hurts. It hurts. That even hurt back in the 20s when I went to college. All right, time for a 5-second review. Let's go. Last week, I was supposed to review WoW Classic. I forgot and left early, but I'm back. All right, moving on. Let's talk about some games coming out next week. We got some big ones on the list. Up first in Kings of Lorne, The Fall of Ebrus. Ooh, that is a big one. You play as Farron, the King of Ebrus. Ebrus, who has been usurped and betrayed by his own order. That sucks when that happens. You must battle against the forces of a long-forgotten realm as you try to save all existence from an ancient evil. The developers described the game as a first-person, dark fantasy, survival horror game, so if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, if you like hyphenated genres, boy, this one is for you. You can pick it up on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, September 9th. Up next, Caravan Stories is a Japanese MMORPG that is finally coming to the West. Travel across a never-ending fantasy world full of vast open prairies, mystical forests, and rocky barren lands. While traveling, you'll interact with different races like elves, orcs, and Jesse, who are humanoid beasts. Together, you'll battle against the greatest enemy of all, college textbooks. Just kidding, the mysterious enigma. Caravan Stories is coming to PS4 September 10th. Are you ready for some football? And by football, we mean soccer, not the real football. But no, we're not talking about FIFA. No, it's PES 2020, aka Pro Evolution Soccer 2020, aka eFootball PES 2020, aka eFootball Pro Evolution Soccer 2020. Yes, it's listed under all those names, depending on where you look. Way to go, marketing team. This year's iteration contains a new dynamic dribbling system with new first touch techniques, finely tuned ball physics. Love those finely tuned ball physics. And they've completely revamped the Master League experience to feature a new interactive dialogue system, an overhauled menu design, and a more realistic transfer market. It's coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One September 10th. In Blasphemous, you play as the Penitent One, a warrior trapped in an endless cycle of death and rebirth. To free yourself, you must free the world from a foul curse known as the Miracle that has fallen upon the land and created a nightmarish world full of twisted religion, hordes of grotesque monsters, and titanic bosses. You'll explore this non-linear world in search of relics, rosary beads, and prayers to call upon the power of the heavens to aid you in your quest. It's coming out September 10th, PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch. Up next is a game that Eurogamer says is a game BioWare fans should care about. I'm guessing they mean pre-Anthem and pre-Mass Effect Andromeda BioWare. Anyway, it's Greedfall. You'll explore uncharted new lands in this open-world fantasy RPG set on a remote island filled with riches, lost secrets, fantastic creatures, and more magic than you can shake a wand at. You can befriend and betray companions and factions, use diplomacy, deception, and force, all to influence the story and the world around you. It's coming out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One September 10th. Walking Dead: The Telltale Definitive Series is a collection that contains all 4 seasons of Telltale's The Walking Dead, along with 400 Days and The Walking Dead Michonne, complete with graphical enhancements and behind-the-scenes bonus features. It also includes some gameplay improvements like character performances and better lip syncing, so that's cool. You can pick it up on the Epic Games Store, PS4 and Xbox One, September 10th. And here we go, it's finally here, it's Gears 5. The Swarm has corrupted the Coalition's robot army and is ascending on human cities. Kate Diaz, voiced by the ever-talented Laura Bailey, breaks away from the looming danger and discovers a dangerous connection between herself and the enemy. You can play the campaign with up to 3 players via both online and split-screen co-op, but the campaign is just one of the 5 different game modes, so there is plenty to do. Gears 5 releasing for PC and Xbox One September 10th. In Daemon X Machina, you're a mercenary who must defend the Earth via a fully customizable mech called an Arsenal. Battle against corrupted robots and squad up with up to 3 other players to destroy titanic bosses in online co-op mode. This game is the brainchild of Kenichiro Sakuda, one of the developers behind the Armored Core series, along with mech designer Shoji Kawamori, most known for his work on Super Dimensional Fortress Macross. It's coming to Switch September 13th. Ellen is a 2D pixel horror game where you'll play as a young investigator uncovering the dark truth behind the murder of the Smiths and their missing daughter, Ellen. You'll make your way through the Smiths' residence dealing with paranormal events and solving puzzles, all in an effort to finally solve the grisly murder. It's been out on PC for a few months, but it's making its way to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch September 13th. And finally, I'm so excited, Borderlands 3, catch a ride, catch a ride. The shooter looter is back, packing a metric ton of guns and the mayhem-fueled gameplay we've come to expect from the franchise over the years. We got 4 new Vault Hunters to choose from. There's Mose the Gunner, Amara the Siren, Flack the Beastmaster, and Zane, the guy who does magic for all his employees and they can't get away. No, just kidding, it's Zane the Operative. Of course, you can play solo or with friends as you annihilate bad guys, earn loot, and eventually take on the Calypso Twins. It's releasing on the Epic Games Store, PS4 and Xbox One, September 13th. That's all the news we've got for you this week. We love y'all very much. See you around. Bye.
Welcome back to Instagram for Tuesday.
Ooh, it's Cyber Tuesday. Every first Tuesday of the month, Cyber Tuesday. That's what it is. So Cyberpunk 2077. So we're talking about a game that can do no wrong on this Do No Wrong Tuesday.
Yeah, it's from a highly respected developer, CD Projekt Red. Plus, it's got a cool futuristic setting, what looks like great gameplay. Oh, and also Keanu Reeves.
Ah, it's everything. He just turned 55, by the way. CD Projekt Red even released a new deep dive video that